Okay, let's start with homework. Maksat, let's review your solution first, since you already shared it on Slack.
Should I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Two options.
So what was the final homework exercise that I gave you guys? Can you remind me briefly?
The exercise was about that we need to find the total score for each subject.
Average score, right?
Yeah, sorry, yes, average score for each subject.
Good.
So the option two, it's actually what the Dawood showed for me. I just repeated that initially my solution option was option one. It was much harder, less understandable than Dawood solution. So what I did, okay, let me explain. So, so first of all, I created the new variable where I want to collect my total scores for each subject. So this is like a typical what we did usually. I just reach to my subjects for each student and then check like this variable if I have this subject. If it's true, then just increase the subject score. If it's not true, then just add the first subject score for each for each subject and for each student. And then what I did, what was my result from this solution was I got this.
Okay.
The list of the list of the classes and the total scores for each subject. So I did definitely the same, but for the students, total students for each subject. It's like definitely same. And then what I got it, just send the list of the subjects with total students for each class.
Okay.
Then my last one, this one, after I again created the new variable, like every time I create a new variable, this one like the average scores. So here, since the keys of both my objects are same.
Okay.
So what I did is like I used the object keys. Object keys will create for me the array of keys. And then I just used it doesn't matter which one you want to use. I just used the subject total scores for each subject and did again the for loop. For example, here is key, and I just check if that, for example, my total score for each subject is this has the key, has one property key. Since I have it, then what I did is I average score key. I just not push it out secretly. I just assign it. I just assign it. Yes, I just assign it the number that's dividing like total scores for each subject, total students for each subject. And I got the results of average for each classes.
Okay.
And then my last step was I did this was for my classes, since like our main task was to add for our classes data. I also did again the follow and then checked if average score has the own property of class name. Since like I have all the names of my classes and the class name means if you go here, then again the name of the class, if they are equal, like for example, look at math here, Math 81. Here is my math name, math class. If I have it, then just assign it.
Mm-hmm.
Classes average score. And if you open my last result, you can see, for example, math, I have average score.
Mm-hmm.
This
Okay.
was a very long journey, but if you go to the second option,
I have question.
actually, yep,
Average score is 81, but my average was 87. So what I did is that I counted how many students have taken. Some students have not taken the math class. I mean, some students doesn't have the math, right? Asel.
yes,
And we should not consider that because the person has not taken the class, right?
Right.
yes.
I think that's what Maqsad did, right?
But
Mhm.
my average score is like kind of like it was, let's say math is like 300 something. And then I just divided it for the 4 student.
Yes,
Yeah.
you see,
And but
I have the 325 and 4.
really,
325
but my
divided by
answer
4.
is mine was a different. Mine is 87.
Did you change your data? It could be okay because during the classes we usually change our data.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
possible.
no, I
Yes,
change it. Because math is now is 90, the first one, right? And the second one is the 87. So I didn't do any changes. So you did, right, Maqsad?
I don't remember which one I changed it, but I definitely know I changed it because the last time with the minimum score to pass when you have to check it, all our scores was too high, and I just decreased some the scores of some students. But I don't remember which exactly was the class,
Yeah,
which
but
subject was class.
mm-hmm.
As long
But
as you follow the same logic, you should be fine. Like it doesn't matter if you have like a bit of a different result, because we were messing with the scores constantly in this class, in the last couple of classes.
You can just check manually one of them. I just check, for example, history, the manually, and if I got like the correct answer, like 90, you see, it was very easy, like to get 90. Then I just make sure that all my logical work is working.
Okay, yeah,
okay.
very nice. Good job, Maqsad. How long did it take you to solve it?
This
Yeah.
part was very easy for me because like during the classes, I was like pushing my idea to do like this in the beginning. Yes, that's why like it was my suggestion to all our like classmates to create like this, like this, like this. And after classes, I just solve it immediately because it was in my mind. Like
Nice.
it takes like 5 minutes, but that one, it takes me a long time. It's
Mm.
shortest version.
And you said that the second option is Davut's solution, or
So how was it? We were together during the classes. We just shared it on the screen.
uh-huh.
Uh, yes, and then I just look it, remember it, and come back after like 3 days and try to solve the game. But I just want to check, do I really understand or not?
Mm-hmm.
And I
Nice.
could solve it.
Uh-huh. Good. Okay. So for this, maybe for the second option, Davut can tell
Yes.
more. Yeah. Thank you, Maqsad. Good job. Okay, Davut, let's move on to your solution then.
Uh, can you see my screen?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I did it like that's like I mean in the beginning it was like more is the code was bigger. So
I
I
bet.
just and then when I finish it and I start to find like to to short it because this one the subject students the ID was the into I put it just in other variable and then I
Mm-hmm.
compare with the class ID.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this one I like it was I understand like from that we need the total score to divide it by total students. It was solution when we did it by the like in the class. So I already knew like we have to somehow to like total score like divided. The most of the hard part was this part
Let's
because
talk about it.
honestly it was not like I knew it like right away. I have to compare this one with this one. I've been trying whatever comes to my mind. I start to compare everything.
Okay.
Yeah, compare by like it took me maybe 2-3 hours for me.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I just did whatever like all the options, whatever comes to my mind. I try to like compare, find out the total score and the total student first.
That's nice. So you're looping through the classes array, then you're looping through the students array, and then you're looking into each student's subject.
ID, yeah, I compare with the IDs, not the class names, because I
Makes
saw it's wow.
Of course. I mean, if you have like an ID, it's always better to use an ID. So then you're saying if subject ID is the same as class ID, good, total score. So you're incrementing it by the student's subject score, and you're also increasing the number of total students. Nice. And then for each class, you're just calculating the average basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And I use the math floor just because like I want it to be like just not like a just number without a dot something,
Without decimals.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I really like that solution. Good job. Very clear, like what you're trying to do.
No, thank you.
How long did it take you?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 hours. Like I
Okay.
said, it was bigger and like it just is looking right now like this because I start to when I solve it and I start to shortcut like yeah.
And that's the best strategy, right? Like I said, in any algorithm, the best solution is the one that you can come up with on your own. That is your like personal best solution. After you solve it, after you understand the steps that need to be done. Yeah, for example, like with Maqsad's first solution, Maqsad has like 3 major steps that he is doing, right? So once you understand that, the steps that need to be done in order to come with like a comprehensive solution and get the result that you're expecting, like after you have a very long, very simple, long solution, only after that you should start, enhancing the way you solved it, right? So for example, here, your current solution is also sort of a 3-step solution, but because you're using like higher order functions and because you're like doing everything basically inside one main for each function, it becomes like a lot more readable, like it's a lot more clear what you're trying to do, right? Than if it was split into like separate blocks of code. But yeah, like I said, the best solution is the one that you can come up with. So when you're faced with like a more difficult challenge, so first solve it the way you can solve it, like the naive way, the long way, it doesn't matter. You're figuring out the logic first, right? So when you have it on paper, then you can start enhancing it. And like if there is no way you can come up with a better solution, like if you spent, hours trying to come up with a better solution and you couldn't, then you enter your solution to ChatGPT and ask it to you know, like refactor this code, for example, and then it will give you like options of how you can refactor it, but make sure that you understand it, okay?
Yeah.
But very nice. I think that's probably what I would have done if I was solving it.
Yeah. Like I said, the first time it was like all this stuff was in other variable, like I separate them and then I start to compare them. So and then I start to realize, okay, I can like use the for each. Inside the for each, I can do all this manipulation without put everything in the variables.
Very nice. Good job. Good job, David. Thank you. Aziza, let's see your solution.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna share the screen. My screen is. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I did. Okay.
Aziza, you are sharing the wrong screen.
I'm sharing the wrong screen, right? Okay, this one. Now?
I cannot see anything.
Oh, 1 second. Okay. Stop sharing. Okay, mine is gone now. Other 1 second.
Take your time, no rush.
What? No. Where's my? No. Why my replit is closed now? No. No replit, please. 1 second, Asel.
Yeah, take your time.
Asela, I have a question. Can we more practice about the data structures and algorithms? Since like we have a class with Mara only one time per week on Friday, and I feel it's not enough. For example, yesterday I was trying to solve the problems with the logarithms, like left and right. You need to cut left, right, like to find your target number. For example, this kind of assignments or like a recursion, for example, it's very difficult for me to work with recursion or the slide windows.
Sure.
I feel it's not enough. Next class we can focus more about the data structure algorithms.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, recursion literally just broke my mind when I first tried to understand it. It took me a while, to be honest. Can you,
So,
Maksat, can you write down the topics that you want me to talk about and send it to me as a message?
sure. To Slack or to
Yes,
chat?
Slack is good.
Okay, I will send it.
DM me. So I can come up with like exercises that can explain it well, because it takes time, yeah, to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, if there is like anything you guys struggling with, just let me know. Aziza, any luck?
Suddenly my replit is now closed down and says that I have used all limit and I had to not pay. So I'm writing my part number. I don't know what's going here. Like, oh my God.
Sorry.
Like it says like your deployment time limit has been exceeded. So I need to do some payment, but you keep going and I will share screen now when I make a payment.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. So, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
REPL,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yes,
let's
right.
hope my REPL will work. So I wanted to talk about classes. Do any of you have like any idea what classes are? Okay,
Classes, you mean
Objects, instance of classes. Yeah.
okay. Not all objects, but yeah, the ones that we use to use the ones that we create using classes are instances of classes. So what are classes like? Why do we need them? What's the point?
What's about
Okay, so think of classes as like a blueprint for creating an object. So you know how, for example, I don't know, if you work at a factory that's making clothes, let's say you work in Zara, right? And you have a blueprint for each type of cloth. So for example, for jacket, you know that a jacket is supposed to have 2 sleeves, right? It's supposed to have, let's say, buttons. It's supposed to have like a specific length, etc., right? Or if you're making gloves, you know that you should have 2 pairs of gloves.
Sorry, Asel,
Yeah.
disturbing. Can I share quick my screens because I
Sure.
cannot, so and then we continue.
Sure,
Alright.
sure.
Okay, can you see my screen?
I see that you started sharing, but I don't see the screen itself. Like I only see black screen.
me too?
What about now?
Yeah.
Now it's good.
Okay, now you can see my code, right?
Mhm.
And what I did is like, this is the function, and then I gave like an object.
Mhm.
I did a for loop for students for each and student, and then I did like the second loop, and then
Mhm.
I did like an object and
Mhm.
a subject name, and then I did like an variable, and I created like temporary object, and this one is just variable I gave, and this is the subject score, and this is the student number that I just gave, and then subject in the sense like, you know, usually if I didn't have this, right, then I had to put like obj subject dot subject name and something, right? Then I gave this here, and I did a console log, very strange here. And yeah, then I got this. And then after else, my score and subject plus. This is the subject name and my score, and I got an access here. And plus subject score. And then I did up to subject name and student, and like increase this one, actually. Like then I avoided like a nested loop here. So then I did like, again, loop the class, and I didn't like divide this score to student num. And then I got this one. It took me 4 hours to fix that.
Okay, let's see. So you're looping through the students array, then the subjects. If object doesn't have the subject yet, so you're creating a temporary object. Oh, so okay, so you're trying to okay, I get it. So inside your object online that you created on 9 to 70, so if it's a new subject inside that object, you are creating an object that will hold the score in the number of students, which is for now 1, since it's the first instance of that subject. Okay, cool. And then you're storing it. Else,
If it's
else,
existed, then just increase the subject score and the students, yes.
what's that?
If it's existed on the object, the temporary object already, then
Yeah,
you just
then
increasing the subject score and
yeah, and the
student
student
numbers.
Okay, go. And then, so that's all stored inside one object. Then you're mapping through the classes. Object, item, class name. So you're finding that name inside that object, and you're dividing the score by the student number. Okay, got it. And then you're just assigning average score, which is a result. And you're returning classes. Good? Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, like 4 hours. So I didn't sleep well because I had to sit like until 2, 3 and I fell asleep. Oh my God. Okay, like yes, you said, I was very surprised. The object was, I also have seen some videos, and object has it's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And you was right. Like, yeah, you was right, and we can avoid the nested loop and time complexity. And I didn't know that. So
Yeah, objects are pretty useful when you need to, for example, look something up and you don't want to increase your time complexity. So it's very very handy to use objects. And in a lot of cases, like when you are solving something with an array, and you're thinking, okay, so how can I avoid, like nesting an array? So like in many cases, your answer will be to use objects somehow, right? Even with, you guys are familiar with stacks and queues, right?
Yes, the
Mhm.
loop event.
Hmm?
You mean about the loop event?
Event loop? No, that's not what I mean. I mean, yeah, because they do use stack and queue, but you guys are familiar with those data structures, right? Because queue and stack are data structures, and event loop just happens to use them, but they are data structures that exist just, on their own, and that you can use in order to like solve algorithms.
The logic is same, right?
So stack and queues, often like when you create stack and queue, people just use an array and then use it as a stack or queue. So you can do that, or you can create stack data structure using classes, actually. And then the time complexity of it will be like much better on many, different occasions than if you just use an array. I don't know if that makes sense at this point, but yeah, it's very useful. Good job. Very nice, Aziza. And thank you for spending so much time on this one. I appreciate it.
I'm very struggling also a lot, like I really do. But sometimes I want to give up, but on algorithms, but I can't, like that's why I feel like very. But yeah, in the end, I don't like. I wanted to also give like a little bit like this, at least one homework so we can challenge us.
Yeah. So you can not sleep the whole night and then say some nice words about me while you're solving that. All right. Thank you so much, Aziza. You can stop sharing. Thank you. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me turn off that AI helper. Okay, so where was I? We were talking about how classes are used as blueprints for objects, right? So for example, if you have a blueprint for a house, you know that a house is supposed to have at least like 4 walls, right? A roof and like a door and a couple of windows. Yeah. Like a typical house would at least have those. So this is similar to what classes are to objects. So class can be used as a blueprint for building or creating an object. Does everyone know what blueprint means?
No.
Blueprint means like oh, I forgot what the Russian word for it is. Blueprint is like,
Can you say just way for the maybe we can say way for the object, maybe. Oh, it's not way.
one second, blueprint plan. That doesn't sound right.
Ah,
It's you translated from the Polish.
It knows that it's English.
Oh, it's not. Oh, you're smart now.
Kalka. Yeah, sometimes like I don't even switch languages. If you type, probably it will know that it's not Polish, it's English. So more like kalka. Kalka is a good word. So
I don't know what is Kalka.
oh, okay.
Is it
Okay,
like what color?
like like the sample, sort of like.
Oh, no, I got it. Okay.
So you know how when you're working, let's say in like construction, and you have a plan for how each home in your like area that you're building will look like, right? So
I
you
got
have
it.
like an architectural like drawing of what your each home in your area will look like. Probably they're like similar to each other, right? They have the same planning. So this is what a class is for an object. It's a blueprint for an object that you will build using this specific class. Okay, so as an example, let's build a class for a house object. Let's pick class house. So this the syntax for creating classes is somewhat similar to objects. So in order to create a class, you need to use class keyword. And then the name of this class should be capitalized. Okay, that's the convention. And then you open and close curly braces. And for example, if you want so let's say your objects that you create using this house class. So let's say you want to be able to pass like different, for example, number of floors or color of the house or whatever. Yeah, you can use constructor function So constructor is like a built-in function inside class that you use in order to pass variables and create properties inside the object that you will create in the future using this house class. Okay, so let me show you. For example, each house can have a different color or number of floors. Oh. Or what else? Number of rooms, right? So if you want these variables, so these more like parameters of the constructor function to be used as you want to assign their values to the property of the object that you will create, right? So then you would do this dot color equals to color, right? This dot number of floors equals to number of floors. This dot rooms equals to number of rooms. Okay, so why am I using this keyword here? So why not just color or just number of floors, etc., right? The reason why we need this is because we are gonna create, let's say, 10 objects using this house class, right? So if we change a color of one object, we only want to change the color of that specific object, not all of the objects that we created, right? Not all 10 of the objects. So this keyword, in this case, will refer to a specific object.
When
So
you're saying object, you mean data type or just object, or like object?
Object as in data type, yes, because we're gonna create objects using this class, right? So for example, if I want to create an object using this house class, so then I would do let's say const Stella's home equals to new is a keyword that you need to use when you create an object using this class. So then it would be new house, right? And then you need to pass the color, number of floors, and number of rooms that you want. So for example, I want a white house. Oh, white house. Oh, what's happening? And I want it to have 2 floors and 6 rooms, right? So now if I console log Asel's home and run it, you will see that it has created a new object, which is an instance of this house class, as you can see here. And it's already filled with these properties, so color, number of floors, and number of rooms. Okay? So this is possible because we are using a constructor function that is there in order to take those parameters that we are passing and assign them as values to the new properties of this object, so of my home's object. Does that make sense?
It's like
What?
it's like Docker.
Come again?
Docker.
Your
I'm-
voice, Maksat, is like really bad. Like we
Yeah,
can't.
it's like breaking up on your side.
Oh, my side. I thought it's your side. Okay.
Now it's cool.
Can you say again? Marcel? Did we
It's
lose?
it's me no.
I think we lost Marcel.
Asela, the constructor, is it like built-in or you can use any words? Constructor, the name of the function.
Constructor is a built-in, so you need to use constructor. Yeah.
Okay.
But you can use any name for your class and of course for the object. But the words like class, constructor, new are
Yeah.
the keywords that you need to use absolutely. Okay.
Mm.
So now what I want you to do, guys, in your own like VS Codes, I'm gonna share this. 1 second, I lost our chat. Oh, okay, here. Oh, okay. So I want you to try and think of the class that you could create. So for example, class human or class animal or class, I don't know, student, right? And think of like 3 properties that you can create inside that class and create an object using the class that you have created. Is it clear?
No.
Okay, so I want you to come up with your own class. So right now we have created a house class, right? And each house is supposed to have some kind of color, number of floors, and number of rooms. Okay. So I want you to use this example and come up with your own idea of a class. So for example, class animal, right? So class animal can have what? Can have, I don't know, legs, tail, and I don't know, number of legs, for example, and type, some kind of type of animal, right? It can be a cat or dog or anything else. And maybe like a color. Okay. So I want you to try and come up with your own class. Fill it with 3 properties and create an object using your own class. And I've shared my code in the chat if you need it, but I'm also sharing my screen. So okay, I'm gonna give you about 10 minutes for that.
Asela, you see, in the beginning we have the word house, the name of the class, or like the animal in the beginning in our console log.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes. Usually we don't have this kind of objects, right? For the typical object, we don't have this kind of word in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And
This is how we
also-
can understand. This is how we can understand it. We're using class.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So every object that you create using the new house keyword, right? So is called, so every object that you create using new house is called an instance of the house class. Okay, so every
Okay.
object that I create using the house class is called an instance of the house class. That's why when we console log it, we can clearly see that it is one of the instances of this class.
I sent my code to the chat.
I'm looking at it right now. Very nice. Good job, Maxim. So others, once you're
Yeah,
done.
I'm working.
Yeah, take your time. I'm not rushing. I'm just saying once you're done, just send it in the chat so I can have a look. My week flew by so fast, it's crazy. We had a corporate event this week in another city. So like the headquarter of our corporation, I mean in Poland, is not in Warsaw. It's in the city called Gdańsk. So it's by train, it's about 4 hours from Warsaw. So I went there for a couple of days and it just, I don't know, because of like all of the planning and then traveling and then like office days and stuff, it was a little crazy. And I enjoyed spending time with my team in the office. But you know, I think that I'm much more productive at home than at work, like than at the office. I feel like I get so much more done. If I was working from the office, probably I would be much slower because there's just so many distractions.
Celia, your work is from home usually, or you need to go to office?
No, we're all like the whole corporation is 100% remote. However, they do provide office spaces. So like we have an office in Gdańsk, and we are actually in the same building as the headquarter of Amazon. Headquarter of Amazon is also not in Warsaw, it's in Gdańsk. So I think they're like, we are on the second floor and they're on like floor 16 or something, or maybe they occupy several floors there. But the whole, like everyone is fully remote, and they are not intending to bring us back to the office, thank God. Because I really appreciate, like as you know, as a mother, I really appreciate that I can, if I need to, like I can spend half an hour with my daughter during the workday, and not be, like it's not a big deal. Yeah. So if you need to go for like half an hour, you don't even need to tell anyone, you just go. So yeah, it's
So jealous for people who can work at home. I mean, like, even if I have this kind of chances, I can work in my last job. So I had the opportunity to work from home, but I couldn't. I don't know how you can focus working home. For me, home is a place you chill, you like enjoy your time. It's not the working place.
I see.
So I had my like cabinet, not my father's cabinet. Like I even could go like stay in the cabinet and work there at my home, but it's very difficult for me. And during the COVID, even when I just get the pass that to office, I just started to immediately go to office. It's impossible to work from home. Even
Wow.
though, like, for example, now I'm studying, it's very difficult for me to study at home. I need to go to the libraries, the coffee shops, or something like this, but at home, I cannot.
Interesting.
That's why if I was now I will try to find the job, I really wanted to go to office, not at home.
Well, that's good for you because a lot of companies are now forcing actually their employees to go back to the office.
I will be more happy.
Interesting.
I guess it's the type of personality. I'm like more extrovert, and it's my mood and my energy from my environment. If like all my environment are studying, I will be studying as well.
Oh, I
If I something like this.
And what if you have like really lazy colleagues who are just talking all the time?
About what?
What if you have like really lazy coworkers?
Oh, lazy coworkers? No,
And
like
they're
just
like talking
environment.
all the time and
Yes.
drinking coffee.
I will join them and drink coffee.
Okay, I see that everyone has shared their classes. Let me check. So Dovut has class cars, nice. Make, year, and color. Okay, very good. So Davut wants a black Honda of like 20, why 2022 and not like 2024, Davut? You could have like any any year in there.
It's actually it is by car. I just want to just
Oh,
put
it
my
is?
of course I don't wanna like in my dreams it's not Honda.
Okay, I was like, that is a very, interesting choice.
Like I sitting and dreaming about the Honda.
Yeah. Okay, class country from Sultan. Name, population, capital. Okay, so we have France. What is the population of France?
I don't know, I just write.
Oh, okay. There is. Okay, good. Uh-huh. And Aziza also has a class country. You guys came up with same. Okay.
No,
I,
no,
s-
it's
I
just-
sent first.
Oh my God. Okay, Yasin.
So capital, continent, and language. Oh, okay. Capital, Berlin, Europe, German. Okay, yeah, good, good, very nice. All right. So you may be wondering, what happens to this constructor function? Because it is a function, right? So how come, like, we're not calling it anywhere? So how come this is running, right? When does the constructor run? So whenever you actually create a new house, right? So the house class, this whole code is run, and the constructor function is called on the background, like it's called automatically whenever there's like a new instance of the house. So that's why, like, even though we're not explicitly calling the constructor function, it is being called on sort of like on the background, and it creates these properties for us, and it creates, it assigns the values that it's supposed to assign. And about this keyword, so if I create one more object using this house blueprint, so let's create a home for Aziza, right? So Aziza, what do you want in your home? What kind of color? How many floors and how many rooms?
I want 2 rooms, and I want 3 rooms, and I want just 1 floor.
Wow. And what color?
I want to have red, like
Wow.
wood, red with wood, like Norwegian
I
stuff.
see. You guys are like, everyone is so down to earth. Dovut is like writing about Honda. Aziza wants 3-room house.
The problem is cleaning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so now if I console log Aziza's home, what's happening here? Okay, now we see that Aziza has a color of her home as red, number of floors 1, and number of rooms 3. So how does a constructor know that, for example, even though we're not specifically saying that Aselia's home's color should be this color, right? Or Aziza's home's color, it should be this color. So how does the constructor know how to differentiate between those different objects that we create using constructor?
With the class name.
Hmm?
With class name.
No, because class name is not available inside the constructor, right? So you mean the object name, right? So since it's not available, so how does constructor know exactly, for example, red color goes to like which object, white color goes to which object, right? Which instance of the class is supposed to have that color? And the reason for that is this keyword. Have you guys heard of this keyword?
Yeah.
So what does it mean? Like, what does it refer to?
It belongs to your constructor object, like the color, number of floors, number of rooms.
Come again?
It means
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There's some problem. Can you repeat the question? What did you say?
It's like I can hear that you're talking, but it's breaking up on your side.
Oh, I mean, like this belongs to the constructor. So inside of a constructor, we have 3 parameters, like color, number of rooms, and this means like it belongs to the color, like for each of the parameters.
Okay.
Yeah, but my logic says the class house. Of course, it can be, but oh yes, this is color. But if you go to line 10 and change this house to another word, it's not gonna work. So this is like construction. Of course, it is. I think it's just fundament.
Okay.
This is for me like sounds like a fundament, like, and then after you can, like a trees, you have a root, and then you can like have a different lines in different, but the root is the same. That's why.
Okay. So
Asel,
when
a question. Is it the same as a like object method? Because like in the object method, we use this, is used like inside of the object method, it refers to the object that method belongs to.
yeah,
Is it like the
exactly.
same logic?
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Yep. So this is like a keyword or like a concept that has like a very abstract meaning. So basically, what this is referring to depends really on the context of how you're using it or where you're using it. So for example, if you're using this inside the class, right? So in this case, the value of this will depend on so basically in each instance of this house class, this will point to a specific object that you have used that you have created using the house class. So basically, in Aselia's home, this will refer to Aselia's home object, okay? And in Aziza's home, this will refer to Aziza's home object. So when we're talking about classes, this will will point to each instance of the class. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Also the line 910, also giving the variable name also. Okay, this is just, okay, this is root. And then you need to use the root with a naming with const like Asel home and Aziza home. And you can take it from there. So the variable name should be different. And then you can
Those are parameters, right? Those are parameters
see the
that we
different.
pass to our constructor function, right? But how does constructor function know what this is referring to? So the way this, like the meaning or the value or whatever this is pointing to is changing depending on the context. So basically, if we create this object, Asela's home object, using house class, so this inside the constructor is now referring to Asela's home. If we create Aziza's home, this inside the constructor will refer to Aziza's home. So like the value of this is dynamic. It changes depending on the context. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yes.
For me, it's like the second part where you contain like the house, like creating a sailor home, the object every time, and maybe when you console log it, it's showing the house also, not just the object.
Yeah.
Showing the class name also.
Yeah. So this is how we know that this object was created using the house class. So it's instance of the house class.
But since it doesn't show which home is it, like who's the house is it, like is Adelia or Adidas? Can you explain please, like in what situation we're using that construction if it doesn't show like who's the house is it?
I mean, for example, if you had a regular object, right, and you would fill it with data, so I don't know, like age and grade, I don't know, 8 probably, right? And then you would console log regular object. You would also not see like a name of the regular object. You would only see the object.
Yeah, right.
So it's the same for these objects, but with only difference is that before the object, we see that it was created using the house class. So it's really an instance of this house class. That's the only difference. But if you would console log like a regular object, you would also only see the object itself, not the name of the object, right?
Yeah, I got it. I just like asking in what situation we using that construction, like what in the like a real life, I don't know, in the job, like why.
In job, I have seen codes in real work, a lot of this, and I ask it, what is this, you know?
So for example, in our project, we use classes in order to define, in order to hold the store of, so, okay, so it's hard to explain because you guys haven't, you're not learning React yet, but basically, let's say we have, so let's say we have user service class, right? So this user service class holds all the methods that we can use on our user. So for example, it holds methods like to log in, log out the user. It holds a method of registering a new user, right? It holds a method to, I don't know, change user data, right? So this user service class will hold all of these methods. And whenever we need to, for example, call a login function on the user, we will reach to this login function through the user service class. And why we need it is to just, handle like complex business logic, because I mean, we have, for example, user service. We also have, I don't know, like we have game service, right? So for like each game that we host on our platform, we have a service that will hold all the methods related to a specific game. Not specific game, but like a game, right? Or we have management service. So all the actions that a manager can do, so for example, request ID confirmation. I don't know, block user, for example, if we think that this user is like misusing something, we want to like showing suspicious behavior, we want to block them, unblock them, etc. Right? So in our projects, we use classes in order to handle like a very complex business logic. And then we have, for example, API service. So API service will hold basic methods, like, for example, fetching for data, right? And then posting data, right? Post. Deleting data, right? So API service will hold like a very, very basic methods. Then user service is like extension of API service, which, for example, if you want to register a new user, so you will do that using register method inside the user service, but inside that register method, we are using the post method of the API service. Why? Because we're posting data to some kind of endpoint that registers users. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, so in these cases, we like using classes is very, very handy because it helps you to organize complex business logic in different services. So when I say service, it really is just a file with like a whole bunch of methods, right? But it's called service because you're using it as like a tool in order to like achieve some kind of result, right? So that's why we call them services. So yeah, so for example, we have like a very, very basic class. So think of this as like human class, right? So this human class is supposed to breathe, eat, and I don't know, something else. Then we have a more complex, like not more complex, but like more detailed class of that user, of that human. So let's say this is a human who is a user, and this is a human who is a manager. So they have different functions, right? But their functions are continuation of very basic human functions, right? So in this case, it's like the very basic class that we use is API service, and the continuation of this class, but with more specific functions, is API service and, for example, management service. So in this case, like using classes is very, very handy. And it really helps you to keep your code organized. Because, for example, you have I don't know, like in our code base, we probably have hundreds of different methods that we are using in order to like fetch data. So we can fetch for user data, we can fetch for game data, we can fetch for some kind of data for management, right? But at the end of the day, it's just a fetching function. So we use this basic fetching method from the API service, but we use it in order to either fetch for the user data or fetch for like management data, right? So like in this case, yeah, classes can be very helpful. Just to keep your data, just to keep your like methods in order separately, but also like also you can still reach from like one service to another service. You can still reach and use the methods from there.
Yeah, I got it, but looks like you need a more like experience to not to get lost in all these services.
Yeah, it took me some time to, you know, to understand, because yeah, when I just joined, like I was trying to write everything from scratch. And then I realized I started looking into like the code base and I realized that, oh, we actually have, so for example, like I never have to write a fetching function from scratch. Like never. Why? Because we already have that in our API service. So I just do API service that fetch, right? And if I need to fetch for user data, I specify, for example, like a specific path and then user ID. So like, I don't think I ever, since I joined the company, like I've ever written a fetch function from scratch. Because most probably that will be also true for you guys when you join your company, that they will have in their code base methods that will simplify your life. And that's how it should be, because imagine like you have hundreds of fetching functions and it doesn't make sense to write them from scratch for each function, right? You're repeating yourself and you're repeating yourself hundreds of times. So it's
Yeah.
more efficient to have a method. So for example, like in our case, like we have a method inside a class and then you just use it and then add a bit of an extra information and that's it. Okay,
Nice.
so whenever I need to, so let's say I'm working on functionality to register a new manager, right? So how do I register a new manager? I just go to management service and I create a new method called register manager, right? Manager. Inside this method, I call this fetch function, or probably post, because I'm creating a new manager, right? So I'm using this post method from the API service, and then I'm specifying, for example, the endpoint that it needs to go to, and whatever data we need in order to register a new manager, like name, email, etc. Right? So I don't need to write like the whole post method from scratch. I already have it ready for me. I just use it and tweak it a little bit, like because it accepts different kinds of parameters, right? So I just use the parameters in order to create this register manager function. So I never touch, for example, API service. It's perfect. Like it has everything that I need, and I only make changes in the management service. So it makes my life, you know, 100 times easier. Okay.
Asel, I have a question. Like you are writing API services that kind of like specific that we need to use, or you can use anything you
What do you mean?
API service is just name Any name or?
Like it's a literal name that we have in our code base, but it's a file, just a file name that we
Okay.
use where we have different like very, very basic functions. So for example, to fetch for data, to post data, to delete data, right?
Mhm.
And then other services are extensions of this service. So inside the user service, I can still use fetch method of API service. I'm just extending it to like a specific user register, for example. Okay.
Mhm.
So that would be like a real life application of classes. I think like on the back end, they use classes a lot more. On the front end, we don't use them that much, but it's still important to know them, to, you know, to be able to also answer like interview questions about them. And also when you guys will be going deeper into data structures, you will be using classes a lot. So that's why I wanted to make sure that you're at least familiar with like a concept of classes and like a couple of, you know, important things that you need to know. So it
Like,
shock you when you when you start doing that in data structures.
backend, I think backend, I heard that backend, you really need the math. I mean, of course, it's not like, but what I have heard from my Indian friends that they said that you need some math for, and you need to be really, of course, they didn't say that you need to be super, but you need to be good in math in order to work in the backend. I mean, is it true, Asel?
I have no idea. Like I haven't touched our backend code. I never seen it. We have like so in our company we have like a very strict division of responsibilities. So for example, I don't even have access to like a backend Slack channel. I don't have access to backend's like repository. I only have access to like a few repositories on GitHub that I touch, that I work with, right? And that's it. Like I've never seen what they do on the backend side. The only instances when I do interact with backend engineers is when I need to clarify something about like an endpoint that I'm using, or let's say like an endpoint is returning an error when it's not supposed to, when like the behavior is different, something broke in the API. So I go to them, I talk to them like, hey, you know, I'm getting, for example, 500 and I'm not supposed to, everything like the payload and everything is correct. So then they start working on it and they fix it and then they let me know. That's it.
I see.
Yeah, so I have no idea like what exactly they do. It's still like a very, very dark forest for me. But I have a friend, she is working for an outsourced company, and she was taught as purely front-end engineer, but now she's working on backend stuff as well. And it's also like it's her first or second year in development, and she's already like handling I mean, it's not like very complex backend tasks, but still, you know, something that needs fixing, or like a new, I don't know, addition to like an endpoint that already exists, this kind of tasks, but still it's already something, right? And she's able to understand those tasks, she's able to execute them. So I assume, you know, if you have enough training, it's still something that can be learned.
I see.
All right. So back to our topic about this keyword. I keep telling it to everyone who is learning about this, but it really helped me to like frame the understanding of this. Think of this as like pronoun that you use when you're talking about someone. So for example, let's say I'm talking to you about my manager. So I start my story about, let's say we have a new manager in our company, right? And then he was able to join us at our corporate retreat last week. So I got to meet with him, and we also had a one-on-one session with him, right? So whenever I say he or him, I don't need to specify that this is the manager, because you already know from the context of our conversation, you already understand that whenever I say he, I'm talking about my manager, right? And then I say, for example, oh, and I also met our tech lead, and this is the first time I saw him in the office. He seems to be like a really friendly guy, blah, blah, blah. So now, even though I say he and him again, right? This time, you know that I'm talking about the tech lead and not the manager who I was telling you about just a minute ago, right? So it's sort of like a pronoun. Anyone can be a he. So how do you know when I say he or him, how do you know who I'm referring to? You know that from the context of our conversation. So that's why when I say this is sort of like a context, so like the meaning of this or the value of this is coming from the context. It's the same as when I'm talking about I met him, I talked to him, blah, blah, blah. So it can be anyone from my team, right? Most of the members of my team are men. So I can be talking about anyone. But from the context of my conversation, you already know if I'm talking about my manager, my colleague, or my tech lead. Right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So this is how the constructor function knows that this, in a specific case, refers to a specific object from the context of it, okay? All right, any questions so far?
No.
Okay, nice. So, so far we have seen, oh, wait. Do you guys want to have a 15-minute break before we continue?
Yep.
I see that we're already like hour and a half into the class. Okay, so let's have a 15-minute break as usual, and then we will talk about classes some more and do some exercises. All right, cool. See you guys in 15 then. Okay. Are you guys with me?
Yep.
Mhm. Let me. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Mhm. So, so far we've only talked about how we can assign key and value pairs, so properties into our class instances. But obviously, it's not everything that we can do with classes. So let's say if we have a class called shop, okay, and that shop is going to have some kind of produce, right? So inside our constructor, we're gonna assign some parameters here. So let's say name of the product, type of the product, amount, and price. Okay, so then that name would be name. That type would be type. That amount of amount. And the price is price. Okay, so this shop class needs to be able to, for example, sell a product, right? So we need, for example, a user to be able to buy a product. So how do we do that? Classes can have methods. So just like objects, like normal objects, they also can have methods, right? So how do we create a method inside a class? So let's say we want to create a method to buying a product. So then you just create a function like so inside class, right? And then you can use this as a method of the class instance. Okay, so for example, for now, let's just console log product well, for now. And let's create an instance of this shop. Let's say my shop, shop 2, new shop, right? And then we're gonna pass, so let's say my shop is gonna sell iPhones. So that would be the name, the type would be, what's the latest one? Is it 15?
Then I think.
And the amount, let's say I have 5 of them, and the price is what? About $700? Okay, so now if I'm gonna console log, so let me get rid of this. If I console log my shop, let's clear. Why is it like never stopping? It's weird. Okay, so now I have a shop that sells iPhones of iPhone 15. I have 5 iPhones and their price is 700 per item, right? So if I do, so how do I call this buy product function? So I say my shop that buy product. Okay, and I call this function. And then if I clear my console again, you see how it's logging that the product has been bought, right? So this is how I reach to a method inside this class instance. So I use a dot notation and then I call it just like a regular function. So by product is a function, right? It becomes a method of this shop instance. So in order to call it, I use a dot notation and then I call it as a regular function. Okay. And let's say if I want to buy like one iPhone, right, in my shop. So someone wants to buy one iPhone from my shop. So if I'm performing the buy product operation inside my shop, so then like how it would affect my current shop here, like what would change inside my shop?
The amount.
Exactly. Right? So if someone wants to buy like a certain amount of iPhones, the amount of my inside my store would change, the amount of produce that I have. So let's say someone wants to buy 2 iPhones, right? So how do I reflect it in my method here? What needs to happen inside my method?
That amount.
Okay, that amount.
I don't know.
Think of
You-
this as a regular function.
Maybe yes, you need to put the parameter first as well.
Okay,
Let's say, I don't know.
product.
That amount equals to amount minus number of products.
Exactly. So we can do minus equals number of products.
Hmm.
So if I perform, if I do my shop that buy product, so I'm gonna buy 2 iPhones, and now if I console log my shop, right? So now I'm supposed to see not 5 items, but 3 items. So let's see. There we go. Okay. So what if I want to okay. So let's say I have different like discount cards, yeah, that I give to my like constant customers or customers who have their birthday or like veterans or something like that. So I have like a discount from, let's say, I don't know, I can have like a 10%, 20%, 50% discount, right? So how would I reflect that as a method? How would I turn this idea into a method for my shop class?
So you need to create new function.
Okay.
Let's say discount
Let's do apply discount.
by discount.
Discount.
The price, you need to change the price. Then you need some parameter. Let's say like discount. Let's say discount. So the question is, do you need to change the in your object the amount of price, or you just need to add like oh we can do like this. This so we just need to add, right? Like this that discount equals to discount.
So let's say someone comes to my shop with a card that has a 10% discount on this product, right? So then I'm gonna call apply discount function, right?
And you
So,
need to
So this that price minus equal discount, and when we call the function, we just put 10% at the argument.
like 7.
But you're gonna change the whole shop. That's the problem. Your price.
Exact product, no?
let's say I'm changing the current price, like don't worry about the whole shop's prices. Okay, so let's just work with listed price.
Yeah.
Okay, you can do the same like the byproduct.
Like what?
It's percentage,
Mm-hmm.
then
How am
this
I
price.
going to then 10% discount, for example?
Oh, then the minus 10%. Is like you need to convert first of all from percentage to just a number.
Exactly. So how does that happen? So if I just do minus equals discount, and let's say someone comes to my shop with a 10% discount, right? And my price, regular price is 700. So the discounted price with 10% is not gonna be 690.
Gonna be, it has to be 70, so then you need to multiply to 100 and divide for 10.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the new price? What would be the
New
formula?
price is 630.
Right, but what's the formula?
Formula is
Price, I don't
Well,
know.
price price multiply 100 divide for 10.
Divided by 10?
10, yeah, you're saying
by
you're saying
discount.
10 discount. Yeah.
But this is gonna give you 7,000, no?
No, 700, you are 700, yeah, and then we are dividing it for
This
yeah,
this
like 700 is gonna like no, we need to price and multiply for discount and divide for 100, right?
Okay, so now we're multiplying
Oh,
by
oh my
and
God. Oh my God.
welcome.
Yeah, like this is 700 and then
Uh,
multiply for 10 and divide for 100. And then we get a 70 and then so it is 70 we are just getting. So then it should be 630, right?
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm gonna do? I will like the discount divided by 100. Yes, and multiply by price. This is right actually.
Okay.
It's gonna be 0.1 multiplied by, oh no, wait, 0.1 multiplied by 700 will give you the, this will be the discounted price.
Yeah, discounted will be price. Then we need to
Correct.
then
We need to change.
then we need to like price minus that amount of price. I mean this price. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Can you add
So
one more? This price
this is
minus,
70. We got an answer, but now this price minus and this price.
yes, Aziz is right.
Mm-hmm.
Just give the discounted price. You
So
need to
we
minus
are getting the amount of the discount right now, right? So Aziza, what happens next here?
Next is this price
Uh-huh.
minus price again. This
Minus
price.
this whole thing, right? So like that,
yes,
right?
yes.
There we go.
And do we need to add also second time this?
Here,
Yeah.
yeah, because otherwise it will throw us an error that price is not defined. It will think that it's some kind of like variable or parameter or something. So we need to do this, that price, referring to that the value of this price should be used.
Mm,
Okay?
okay. Oh, got it. Okay.
So, but now you see your console.log your mashup in line 39. So it means what? It means that we changed the whole price for our shop. That
Yeah.
was a, yes, but
Yeah.
if some different customer will come and want to buy like without any discount, let's say like it doesn't have the discount, then do you again has to change your price?
No, what we can do, I mean, if we're thinking like that far ahead, we can create like discounted price,
Yes,
right?
this is what I wanna do. Like I wanna add the discounted price separately, not changing the initial one.
Minus, oh. So then, if I run again, it will have regular price and then discounted price.
Yes, yes.
But what if this is not discount? You're just not calling that function. It's gonna be just same prime as it was before.
What's that?
But if you don't wanna apply the discount, you're just not gonna call that function. Apply discount.
Yeah, right. So then we will sell at like a regular price, right? Okay, good. So those are regular methods, right? Is that clear, guys? Like, do you have any questions about this part?
No.
Cool. So then there is a different like kind of method inside classes. They're called getters and setters. Have you guys heard of them like in your maybe classes on objects?
No.
Okay, so getters and setters are like a specific type of method that you can use. So for example, so the only difference is that the getter method will start with a get keyword. And then, so let's say, for example, we need to get, let's say, total value of our products, meaning that like how much money we have currently like in our shop in products, right? So then this function would return, so if we need total value of our products in US dollars, so then this would be this that amount times this that price. Okay, but if you want to call this getter method, like why it's convenient to use a getter when you can, is because you can just call it like this, my shop dot total value. So you don't call it as a function, you just call it as like a regular property of what's the word? Of an object, right? And it gives you, is this correct? Like, do we have, yeah, it's correct. Is it clear, guys? Like, it's a method, but you call it as a regular sort of
Like,
property, yeah? So that's the only difference. Like getter, and there's also setter method. So set, for example, new amount. Wait, how do we call a setter method? Oh, okay. So for example, I don't know, update amount. So let's say our shop has received like 100 of new iPhones, right? So then we would update the amount. So let's say this that amount is equal to, oh, sorry, not 100, but like restock. So let's say restock and then amount here. So this that amount would be amount. Okay. So implicitly has type any. Okay. So then I think I haven't used setters in a while. So then I would probably do restock and then pass 100. Right? So up, one second, up. And then if I console log my shop, let's clear. Run. But is not a function. Okay, so it's not how you use it.
Yeah, because you already get the line 38 like error.
No, that's a different one. That's from TypeScript. Hold on. So we need setter class JavaScript. Why is it in Russian? Because, okay. Oh. Okay, I think we're not supposed to pass. Oh no, we can pass. So what's the problem? It's not a function. How do we use it? Okay, so we have an object and we have a setter function. So where are they using it? Oh, okay, like that. So then we would be my shop.restock equals to 100. And now if I run it, hopefully it should work this time. Yep, here we go. So setters basically, they set a new value to the property whenever there's like some kind of update. And it's also, you know, it looks like a function. It is like a method, but because it's a setter method, we reach to it as if it's just like a regular property. Yeah, just like what we do with getters. Okay.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So I see in your class, shop, you have like so many functions. Do you need the comma between them? Like constructor, comma, byproduct, comma, discount, by comma.
No. In fact, it will probably throw an error if you do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're
Because
not.
for me, that class, it looks like the object, and I was thinking maybe
Yeah.
you need the comma between them.
Yeah, it does look a little bit like an object, but it's not like an object type. It's not. So if you check the type of class, yeah, so it wouldn't be an object. It's like, I think those are called something like abstract data type. So the class itself is like an abstract data type. So it's more like defined by its behavior rather than anything else. Yeah, so like with object, you have like a specific syntax, specific like, you know, yeah, so like object has an object data type, right? Array has, for example, an object data type, but class is, I think it's classified as abstract data type. Yeah, and since those are like methods inside the class, you don't need to separate them as with like a comma or anything else.
And
Okay. Any questions?
No. The last you did, Asel, is just you updated, right? Amount from 700 to amount from 5 to 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't use setters that much. I'm trying to remember, like, we do use getter functions. Setters not that much for some reason. I haven't had like a huge practice with those, so it's hard for me to, to give you like real life example of like where you want to use a setter. So okay, so for example, if you have like a human class that accepts like first name and last name, right? So setter would be a function that you would use in order to set like a full name, And if you're asking me why can't we just create a full name property where we would list name and last name, I don't know why. But I guess if the setters exist, there is time and place where you want to use them. So that's like, as good as I can explain it to you guys. I'm sorry. But getters are like quite convenient because it is a function, but you just use it as like a regular property, which, simplifies your life a little bit. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So what I want you to do, guys, it's an exercise. Well, let's make it a bit more complex. Okay. So right now we're dealing with like only one product. So let's make it a bit more interesting. So I'm gonna share this just in case you want to have it. Okay, so because I'm gonna get rid of this and those. Yeah. So let's deal with like a bunch of products. So for example, products. So let's say we have name of the product, let's say iPhone, stock quantity as 10. So we have like 10 iPhones and the price is 700 per item, right? So I'm going to replicate that a bunch of times. Up. So let's say MacBook quantity 5. What's the price? Like 1,000? What else are we selling?
iPad.
Watch, Apple Watch.
Yep. Apple Watch. By the way, some of those Apple Watches are like super expensive. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I had the one, and then you need to charge every day. Can you believe? And if you buy it for $20, no, really, it is no joke.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
And then and person like me who is lazy, and then I gave up, give it away to a sister, and then I bought for $20 from China, and I charge only every 10 days.
Oh my God.
Sammy.
Wow.
$20 and every 10 days you charge, and also like it has the same functionality. So
Wow, that's crazy. Like I was, at some point I was thinking of getting those, but they are crazy expensive. And just because they like one of them has like a fancier, I guess, wristband, like just because of that, it's like $500 more expensive, and I'm like, this is just insane.
And if you go to Switzerland, Asel, you know, if you see that most people not using that kind of Apple, they are using like real like Swiss watch, you know, I was so surprised. Then I asked, okay, here is the class, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend, he's living in Switzerland and working for a bank. Surprise, surprise, like he's working in a Swiss bank. And he says, you know, like the watches that some of his colleagues are wearing, it's like, I mean, Apple Watch is like nothing. They sometimes wear watches that costs like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and just like as a regular watch, you know. And he says like you cannot surprise Swiss people with like a fancy watch because they all have them. And
I
I
can
guess
also, I can see that the Switzerland is there are a lot of rich people, you know. I mean, like
Mhm.
statistics shows that every fifth citizen is the millionaire there. And you know, we in one city called Zag, you know. If you go to Zag, there's no tax. Only rich people live, you know. You
Wow.
cannot see normal car, you know, only Porsche, you know. You know, I was so surprised. Why he has no BMW, you know, like Porsche and then Lamborghini, you know. And then they said that he is only for rich people because all the people in Europe, they hide their money there because in Switzerland tax is less than compared to Norway or other countries. Yeah, and it's like crazy, you know. But country is like super, I mean,
Mhm.
very extremely clean and
Yeah, I really want to go there someday. Okay, so I have made it a little bit more difficult for you guys. So we have like a list of products, right? It's an array of products where each product is an object. And now our shop accepts this array of products, right? And now the shop's products property, there's only one property, it will be an array of products, right? So now if I create my shop equals to new shop.
I like your price for Apple Watch 2000.
Yep, we like to be fancy here. So, okay, so here's what we have so far. So what I want you to do, and I'm gonna share that with you guys, and I'm gonna give you another 10 minutes for this exercise. So what I'm gonna do is I want you to write a bunch of methods for this class. Okay, so I want you to write a getter method that will give me a total number of products. Okay, so that's one method that I want you to write for me. What else?
Total product you said, Asel?
Total number of products.
Okay.
So that's one. And another task is to write just a normal like restock method, right? But this restock method restocks only one product. So for example, we have received another 10 iPhones, right? So then you would update an iPhone by 10. So it doesn't restock everything, just a certain like category of a product. Does it make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so these are the two methods that I want you to come up with for now. And you will have about 10 minutes. If you need more, I'll give you more.
Asel, like we need to use get method and not set, right? Only get.
Yeah, that's why I specifically said that this one will be a getter. And this one is just a regular method.
Okay.
Mhm. And in the meantime, I will do some reading on the setters. So that I'm able to give you like more examples of setters.
Sorry, Asel, can you please explain the second one more time?
Sure. So this restock function should be able to restock one category of products. So for example, we have received 5 more Apple Watches, right? So then the array of products will be updated, but it will only update Apple Watches by 5. Okay. So next time, let's say we receive 10 iPhones. So then we will have 20 of stock quantity of iPhones. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Can I use here for each? Is it okay?
Yeah, but would be better to just not to touch the original array, but to reassign it to like a new array. So map is
Okay, map.
interesting. Okay, so remind me to talk about the setters once we're done with this exercise.
have a question.
Mhm.
The rest talk is a function, right? If it's function, so do we need to add like the function or the arrow?
No, I mean, it's already a function. You see? Right here.
Okay. But what's supposed to be for our argument? It's the amount of the iPhones for the argument, the parameter. Then we call this function.
Yeah, could be like a name of the product and the amount.
Thank you for your hint.
Because if you just get the new amount,
Ye-
how do you know?
Yes. Yes, that's the problem. That's why I stuck like here when I was trying to find. Okay. Okay. Asel,
Yes.
to call the function, how was it, like my shop dot restock, right?
Yeah. A regular function, regular method.
I sent the code. Can you please check?
Mm-hmm. Okay, your getter looks good. So in your restock function, you're still mutating the original product object though. Do you know what I mean?
I'm changing the products. Okay.
So you're finding that object and you're just reassigning the quantity, right?
Yes.
Yeah, one issue is that you're reassigning the quantity. You should be adding, because restocking means you have, for example, 100 of new items, but on top of what you have, right? If you got
I
that,
have 10 plus
and ano-
100. Okay.
and another thing is like try to not to do the, I don't know, you need to Google like find, does it mutate the original object? I think it does.
Oh, I made a mistake. It's not supposed to be. I see my mistake then.
Mm-hmm. So try to like rethink the restock thing. I mean, the overall idea is correct. Just the implementation can be a little bit different.
I do that. This.
If anybody else is done, just send me your code.
By the way, it's not mutating.
It's not?
No, I mean like 1 second. Let me send the correct one. I did like this. It's actually mutating, but it's adding, not assigning.
Right. But does find method mutate the original object?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only issue. Like if you used map, for example, you would get like a shallow copy of the array, and then reassigned like a shallow copy to the products. Do you know what I mean?
But still, we gonna at the end we will change the products, right?
Right, but there is like a rule. Try not using, methods that mutate the data.
So I need to create like
Asel,
Yes?
new variable.
No,
yeah,
you just okay, 1 second, as you said. You can just reassign these products to the new mapped array.
So I need to create the like whole new products and just reassign these products to equal to my new whole products.
Yeah, and you will be doing that a lot when you're in React. So far, like I was letting you use for each and mutating the original array, but once you get to React, you will see that you will almost never use for each, or like any other methods, array methods that mutate original array.
A second.
Okay, let me try.
Mm-hmm. Aziza, did you have a question?
Like, you know, when it comes to kind of like, I got confused here.
Uh-huh.
So
Do you have a question or you're just
yeah, but like this one is kind of like new, and I really need to more practice to do this. Like I got confused when it comes to like an okay, we are constructing, and like you are saying that we should not mutate the original. Okay, I
yeah,
don't
we
know.
will talk about it when we're implementing it together.
Asel, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I made the first one, but I can't see the result. Like I console log it. Maybe I make the mistake by syntax. Like, can you show us how to console log the get? The same as like a function we did? Because
No,
it's-
just my shop dot total number of products, just like a regular property.
yeah, that's what I'm doing, but it's giving me the error every time. It's like type error.
Uh-huh. Let's see. Can you share?
Yeah. Why is it giving me the type error all the time?
Yeah, because you don't need to invoke it because it's a getter method, so you just use it as a regular property. So it's just my shop that total number of pro.
Oh, that's why I'm asking, like showing the I understand is get is something different, right? We
No,
can call it.
getter, even though it's a function, but you can use it as a regular
Okay,
property. That's why it's like very convenient.
I got it.
Mhm.
Thank
So do you guys need like 5 more minutes?
Yes, please. Almost done.
Okay, no problem.
And you said for the restock we have to create the new.
Just, try to not to mutate the original array, but rather like reassign it to a new array.
Okay.
Ah, how can I change it? Celia, one more time, please. Just want to clarify. So I created a new array with a new amount of quantity of my iPhone. So
Mhm.
now, at the end, you want me to replace the products,
Yeah, so that products will now be your new array.
but in my array, I just only take only one product, iPhone. I didn't touch the others, like MacBook, iPad, Apple Watch, AirPods, or I need to
But you're
take everything.
even if you are mutating one object inside the original array, you're still mutating the original array.
No. I didn't mutate it. I used filter. I used filter to create a new array. Filter allow me to create a new array, but in my array, I only have the iPhone product.
Yeah,
I
but
don't have the others.
yeah, you need to have all of them. That's why I told you to use map, not filter. Because then you're losing all other products.
I was thinking maybe I can change. So I'm replacing, right? I thought maybe I can replace on the iPhone.
Even if you replace only iPhone inside original array, you're still mutating the original array.
Okay.
Mhm.
I understand you.
Asela.
Mhm.
So I kind of did it in a I don't know, put it into the variable, but I have no idea how to console it.
Okay, let's see.
Or I just at the end I suppose just returned in what if no I can do it.
Okay.
Now, did you finish the second task?
I can't see the result because I don't know how to return the variable which I create inside it. Mhm. For the Asela for the it's
Mhm.
not never mind. Just for the regular we have to put the oh my god we call it like a regular function, right? With the parentheses, that's how we call this scope
Yeah.
key.
Yeah. Yes. It's a regular method.
Okay.
You have to invoke it, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Almost finished, please. Last time.
What's that?
Almost done.
Okay.
Let us finish.
What was supposed to be put is as an argument, as an amount?
Just any number.
Just give me any number, please.
10.
10. Okay. I get it. I'm really bad at the naming, so
Okay, your getter is good. David. Mm. Okay, I see. So your restock looks okay. My issue is your so I said that restock can update only one product, the quantity of one product.
Oh,
Right?
just oh.
Yeah, and you're updating all of them. Plus, you're not reassigning that products. So you're returning a new array, but you're not reassigning to that products. So it means that the property, the products property is still not updated, right?
Isn't it?
Mm-mm. If you console log my shop dot products, you will still see the old products array. Even though your function is returning an updated array of products, but your products property, so like
Mhm.
my shop dot products is still the same. If you check now, you will see that it's still the same.
So we have to change also the original, not the creating new something.
You have created a new array. Now you need to assign this array to this dot products.
Mm.
Okay.
And also you say just for the not one product, not for all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I forgot to return it. Oh.
Do you guys want 5 more minutes or do you want to solve it together?
Okay, let us solve together because we have just 5 minutes now.
I mean, I can stay
But
for
yes, like this one, I need to practice myself, see and
So I did just for the one product,
Ah,
but I don't have no idea how to like. I still don't understand how you want me to reassign to the original or like. But I
Okay.
did. So I just put the
uh,
product name equal the iPhones. Just edit.
Okay, so let's solve it together. So most of you
I'm sending once again. Can you check this code now? I just didn't have time to replace it, but it's I guess not problem. The main thing that I could create a new array.
okay, yeah, you're almost there.
Yeah, I just need to just replace it with new product
Yes.
and that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool. So most of you got the get function right. So what we need here is we need to basically return the total number of products, which means that we need to return products that, or this that products that reduce, right? And then we need a callback and initial value, which is 0. And then
Asel, I cannot see your screen.
what?
Are you sharing a screen?
Am I not?
No.
I cannot see.
1 second. I thought I was sharing it the whole time, like, and when I was like explaining it to you, I was also showing something on the screen. Sorry. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so now we are, so in the getter function, we need to return a total number of products, right? So it means that we are returning the products that reduce, and then the initial value of the accumulator is 0. And in the callback, we are doing accumulator and current element. So it means that we are returning basically accumulator plus equals to element that stock quantity, right? Stock quantity. Correct? So now if we do console log my shop that total number of products, right? So if I run it, it should give me 45. Is that what you guys got?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So that's one. Another one is restock. So basically here, what we need to do is we need to reassign this stat products, right? And we are reassigning it to this stat products, that map. So map will return a new array for us. This stat products, that map, and we are accepting product name and quantity, right? So item, inside our callback, we are saying if item that name is equal to product name, then return, what are we returning? Item, and then item that name reassigned to product, wait, no, not name, we're reassigning the quantity, right? So item that stock quantity plus equals quantity, right? And okay, else return item. Yeah, wait, what's wrong? Oh, I need one more. I think I put else in the wrong bracket. So here I'm returning the object. So this is, wait, where is the end of my if statement though?
Yep. This no, the top one. Yep.
No, this one is products. You need to add one more curly bracket.
The
Oh,
one with
no.
the
No,
No,
the
no,
top
no,
one
no.
is already like you're supposed to put the else after that brackets, like but on the bottom of return. Yeah, the top one.
So wait, this one is for the method. And then I have this one, this, how come it's not saying this bracket though? This was supposed to be end of,
Yes, you are just out. You can put inside of your map function, and it's gonna be okay.
oh, I think it's because it thinks that, okay, so now it should be fine. Okay, if, then else, oh, else, gosh, else, return item, right? Okay, cool. So, yeah, this should be it. So let's try to call my shop that restock. So let's restock iPhones, iPhone, and then by 5. What is it complaining about? Okay, whatever. Let's try. Yep, it is complaining.
That's why I first of all put it and then return it only at the end.
It should. Am I having like some kind of syntax error?
How to understand you are putting the curly brackets, the item? Is it spread operator? Or it's
Yeah, I'm just spreading like all previous item properties and then, or should I just do like stop?
maybe you can do just item dot stock quantity without curly brackets and without curly brackets and without split operator. Just item dot stock quantity plus equal to quantity.
1 second. I think it has like issue with plus equal sign. Item that stock plus quantity, right? And now stock quantity equals to new quantity. Is that what it wants? Oh, like that? Okay, let's try. What's 50? Oh, total number of products, but we need to console log my shop, right? Yep, there we go. Or we could, I'm pretty sure we could do it like a stock quantity.
Can you just return at the end?
Stock, 1 second, stock item that stock quantity plus quantity. Can I do that? I should be able to do that. Let's run again. Clear. Run. Yep. Okay, so
What did you change, Asel, now?
I just moved this part here. Before it was in a variable and I just moved it. Asad, what was your question before?
I was like suggesting the different, like it's never mind.
Yeah,
No,
I
actually,
didn't
it
put a
seems like-
different.
Asel, I think we need to also work with it a lot, right?
With what?
We need to we need to practice also a lot with that, you know. It doesn't seem like simple array and
With
just-
class?
yeah.
I mean, I think this part was like just JavaScript. It's
Yeah.
not specifically like strict class related. I think, yeah, maybe you're just confused with like reassigning stuff.
Yeah, I'm confused there. Yeah, I need to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you
Asila,
give the split operator to item, it means now you are putting the products again inside the array, right?
No, I'm copying previous values and I'm adding or like mutating a new value. So spread operator means that just, copy whatever values you have. I'm only gonna update stock quantity.
Okay, please, can you send this code to not on the but on Slack, so I
Okay.
can.
Sure, yeah, I will. I will share just the whole, link to REPL. Okay.
Slack, yeah.
Marcel?
In my case, how can I reassign?
Oh.
How can I reassign this product?
Okay, 1 second. Let's see. Let me just quickly share the link. Okay. Um,
For example, this one is my new array I created.
hold on, I'm trying to find your code. Yeah, so then you don't need to return because this function is not supposed to return. It's supposed to just reassign this the products. So in your case, you would just do this that at the end, like once you're done with your new products thingy, you just do instead of return statement, you do this that products equals to new products. That's
Hmm.
it.
You might have the same mistake. Actually, I sent you the.
Let's see.
Oh, that was really easy.
You have an issue because inside your map function, you are returning this that products, but you're supposed to return the product because there is a difference between, so here, like my return statement here has nothing to do with this function.
Mhm,
My return statement here is for the map function.
mhm.
Okay, and here, like instead of returning the product object, you're returning this that products and here as well. So that's problematic because it's gonna lead to like a lot of errors.
But somehow it's showing like the result. That's why I don't understand where you're confused.
Yeah, I'm very confused too, Miriam.
Now, in my case, Azalea, like it's not showing the error, it's just showing. That's why I'm like, can you explain which return? Like, I have two returns there inside the map and outside of map.
Yeah. So the return statement inside map is problematic. Because it doesn't really align with the logic. Inside the map function, you're not supposed to return this that products, right? Inside the function, you're just supposed to return a product object.
Oh, just
Yeah,
a product.
and then you don't need the second return because the restock function is only supposed to reassign this that products, which you're already doing on top. So you don't need to like do second return this that products because it's just unnecessary in this case.
But show me undefined if I'm not returning it.
Yeah, because you don't need to console log it. You just call your restock function with a name and an amount, and then you just console log my shop instead of console logging
The whole thing, right?
like I'm doing here.
Dang, this kind of problem here to console everything. To get is different, set is different.
You see how I'm not console logging anything here. I'm just calling the functions, right, and updating, calling my restock function, and then I'm console logging my shop.
Oh my god. I just called the restock without the mice.
Yeah, that's what I thought you did. Yeah.
Oh my god, so okay. Oh, okay. So when I return just the product, it just returning that exact product with like changing, right? Not the whole products, you mean?
Your restock function doesn't need to return anything because the purpose of restock function is to update the value of this that product. And how can you check if the value of this that product has changed? You can either console log my shop or you can console log my shop that products.
No, I got it. I mean, inside the map, which you said not to return just a product inside the map.
Exactly.
what is changed is just returning like a
Yeah, because this return statement inside the map is return statement for the callback function. And callback function is called on each item inside the products array.
yeah,
That's you're not supposed to return an array on each product. You're supposed to return just,
Okay.
yeah,
I
I got
I
it.
got.
and this part has nothing to do with classes. It has everything to do with JavaScript, just like pure higher order function stuff.
Right.
Line 40 and line 41, which is return made us at least me very confused, is because that you are just getting an access to stock quantity and you are just getting the items quantity, just give the put the 5, which is the okay. Wow. I need at least 2 weeks again 2 weeks to
I mean, it's nothing there. Like you're just
yeah, I know you are just getting you are just getting
if it's the item that we're looking for, we are updating the stock quantity. If not, we are returning the item as it was. That's it. This is just like a longer version of map.
okay. But if it's like in shorter, it would be what would be shorter like
Mm. You could use a ternary operator, I suppose.
okay. Mhm.
Yeah, so then it would be instead of this if else, it would be item dot name is the same as product name, right? So then return item and then this whole thing. And else return item. I guess this would be the shorter version. Let's see if that will work. Undefined, undefined, undefined. Perfect.
Okay, and Asel, so like
1 second, let's see. I wonder, like in REPL, why do I have to like stop and rerun again? Yeah, there you go. So this is the shorter version. If this is okay.
the first one is kind of like you are just adding the all amount the stock quantity like every item, right? Every
No, not every item,
no
only
no
the
I mean in the first
same name.
no I mean in the first one.
Here,
Yeah, it's kind of like it is 0, of course, accumulator, and then you are just you are summing the all the quantities, right?
yeah,
50.
because I need total number of.
Okay, total. But in the next one, you are just giving stock. Okay, so the first one has nothing to do with the second one.
No, those are.
I thought, okay.
So maybe this one is a bit more readable for you guys, yeah? Is it?
After first one, yes, but if you put it like right away, no. Like if when you see the first version, the second is possible to read.
Ah, okay. So like
Yeah.
after you see the first version, second version is makes sense, right?
Yes.
But if I had
If you put immediately the second version, you will not understand
Yeah.
anything.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we started with a longer one. You see, like short code is not always the best code, you know. I see that a lot of people try to like squeeze their code into one line, like they try to, you know, show like their refactoring skills and just, you know, always like try to, I don't know, try to
Like too smart.
I guess, yeah. So, but it doesn't make your colleague's life easier, right? So like you can make your code like really short, but doesn't necessarily mean that it will be readable. Not everyone's gonna appreciate it. So yeah, this is like the, you know, the proof of that exactly, right? Exactly what I'm saying. Like this one is like very calm, very readable, and this one is confusing. I mean, at your current level, I mean, right? So that's why, yeah, that's why whatever makes your code more readable to you and to your classmates, this is the best option currently.
Sela, can you explain me the line for like
Which line?
the line 41? I usually don't do this. It's not like
So I'm just saying
something.
that if you find the item with the given product name that we're looking for, then you should return the same item, right? So like copy all of the properties. So I'm saying you should return an object with copied properties of item as they are.
What is
But
that? Like
um,
I don't understand that part. Like spread operator.
come again?
Straight up.
This part is from Ranger.
This part is confusing.
Yeah, spread operator. Like
So here I'm just saying that, you know, copy all of the properties of the item, all of them. So for example, name and price, right? But when it comes to stock quantity, you should modify it to include the new quantity. So I'm just copying the object plus modifying one quantity there, one property there.
You are actually, yes,
But-
copying, but you are also getting access there. Like,
Copying and modifying, that's it. Copying all
uh,
previous.
what if you just do like item dot stock quantity plus equal to your quantity without any return and just return it at the end to everything.
Yeah, yeah, you could do something like a third option, which is what I usually do when I'm dealing with map, is you say, so if you find this product, right? So then item dot
Stock quantity.
quantity. So basically
Yes.
this thing, right? Up equals to.
Plus equals.
Yeah. Plus equals up quantity. And then you can do return items. And that's the
You
same
also, you
as
also add that the else one. Can you add the else?
you don't need else in this case. Why? Because for all items, it will just return item. And for only one that has the same product name, it will modify the stock quantity. But it will
Yes. Yeah. This one looks like more readable for me.
Okay.
Can we check the result?
Sure. Yeah. So let's, for example, update iPhones by 9. And clear, run. There you go.
Mhm. Yes.
I
This
agree.
one is
Usually I go with like this approach.
yeah.
I think like out of all of these, this one is to me, like this one is more clear one.
Yeah, much better to read.
And coming back to your question, like, why do we need to create like a whole new array and reassign it? And why not just mutate like one quantity in one object in the current array, right? So usually we want to keep original data intact for like a whole bunch of reasons, but one of them is, for example, what if you want to like undo the latest couple of changes? So you want to undo restock, cancel restock, right? So then it will be much easier for you to just refer to original array instead of calculating your way back to the original one, which can lead to like many mistakes potentially. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's one reason why you want to keep, so why we have to create a whole new array and then reassign it to this dot products instead of mutating this dot products array in the first place, right? So that's one reason why we want to do it. Another one would be like if you're writing, so for example, when you will be learning React, you will also learn about unit tests. So unit test will be like a test that you write for one component, and components in React means like one like UI part, right? So it's much easier to write unit tests when you're not like mutating the original data, but more like reassigning it to like a new array, for example. It's easier to test it. Also, when you guys will be dealing with React, you will notice that like in React, you never mutate the original state. So like when I say state, I mean the products, yeah? So you never mutate the original state. You reassign it to a new value every time. And there's like a whole bunch of reasons why you do it in React, which you guys will get into once we are on the topic. But yeah, it's like, and also like it makes your code like a lot more predictable, like all the changes are predictable. So yeah, it's much better to just always keep the original data intact and then keep, reassigning it to like a new value. So you can always go back and debug your code. It will be like a lot more readable, a lot more manageable. And if you're using React, you should get used to this kind of logic, because React has like a whole bunch of reasons why you should never mutate the original data. Okay?
Yep.
All right, good. Let me stop recording. That's it for our class today. So I know that I usually don't give you guys new topics. This is like a new practice for us, right? So I hope that it was a productive class for you, first of all. But yeah, so next week we're gonna, I don't know if we should continue doing classes. Yeah, let's continue it a little bit. Let's do one more extra class on classes, and then we can go back to the topics that you mentioned, Maksat. Would that be okay, or do you want to like start with um, with those right away, like next week?
No, it's anytime.
Okay, because there is also a couple of things that I wanted to discuss on classes. Okay, so let's do that next week, and then the week after we can talk about what you have requested, and if you guys have like any questions on React, because I know that it will be a totally new topic for you guys. So if you have any questions, like feel free to address them. We can talk about them on Saturday.
Next class, we are gonna repeat this constructor one more time, is it you said?
Yeah, and then we will also talk about some new stuff, but yeah, also like on classes and constructors.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, while you guys were working on this exercise, I dug into getters and setters, and I have discovered some like really interesting information which I would like to share with you guys and practice. So that, and also there's like class which is sort of like a subclass of a class. So I wanted to talk about that as well. That will probably take up, and I will incorporate some like JavaScript stuff like we did today. So it will not be just pure classes, so it's not too boring. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do next week, and then the week after we can talk about the topics that you requested. And Masa, could you please send them to me, because I will definitely forget, but if I have
Okay.
them,
What was that topic about?
I already forgot. What was it about, Masa?
It was about recursion.
Right, and then there was something else.
It was about recursion. What was it? It's, the logarithm. Like when you are dividing to left or right,
Right.
for example, you need to find the specific
Yeah, I
number.
heard
Yeah.
about
That sounds like a binary search thing.
Yeah, binary search. Yeah,
Oh.
binary search. Window sliding.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so please write those down, send them in Slack.
What is better for you, to WhatsApp or to Slack?
Can you write a Slack so we can also, you said window,
Just send it as a DM on Slack. And I have shared the link to today's REPL. So you guys have full access to that one. But I advise you to copy the whole thing to your own like VS Code or REPL, because there is a chance that I will, while I'm preparing for the next class, like I can delete everything. So just copy that while you have it, okay? Alrighty, thanks so much for joining. As always, very happy to see you guys. Hope you have a great week ahead of you, and see you next week. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.